Live from the middle of the casket of ancient winters, it's Geekshow Podcast.
And now, a message from the Emperor's Ministry of Imperial Affairs. Never forget, the rebels want to change everything about your way of life. We warned you that they are on their way to take away your food synthesizers, and now elite Canto Bight Coast rebels will be coming to your home to take away your hot moisture evaporators, your binary load lifters, your BT-16 land speeders, your protocol and mouse droids, not to mention your 3-position blaster rifles. Only His Majesty the Emperor can stop these rebel elites from overstepping, something that the Empire would never, ever, never, ever, ever, never do. Free death sticks for everyone on this episode of Geek Show.
Geek Show, Geek Show, Geek Show!
GeekShowPodcast.com.
Oh, there we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Everyone's here today. Rebecca Frost, everyone. Jay Whitaker is here. Shannon Barneson is here. Quad T, Too Tall Tony, Lee George Cade, and I am here as well.
Mr. Kerry Jackson.
Oh, thank you. Oh, everyone's looking good. Let's dig in, shall we? Here we go. I want you to go online to watch this because it's
Right now?
delightful.
Right,
Well,
yeah.
no, wait till the show's over.
Oh, okay.
But Harley Quinn, a very problematic Valentine's Day special.
I saw that there was a trailer for this, right?
Yes, go see the trailer.
Is this a standalone thing, not part of the new season?
It's just a special. It's a Valentine's Day special. A festive and foul-mouthed new special, starring, of course, Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. Here, the trailer says, as Harley goes to obsessive lengths to ensure that her first Valentine's Day with Ivy is the best ever, Bane's effort to impress an unexpected date goes horribly awry.
Yes, oh my God.
Meanwhile,
What do you think his date is?
I don't know. Meanwhile,
the guy from the Zuka Juice.
I love
The streets will run red with razzmatazz.
Meanwhile, after an unfortunate online dating encounter, Clayface engages in some self-love.
That can mean a lot of things.
So it's his hand.
Clayface
You're more than
self-love?
just evidence to me.
That sounds like a fornication maneuver.
All I know is I thought I saw a potter's wheel in the trailer. That's all I know. So
Oh my
Jay,
see, he
you
would
just
be-
called that a fornication maneuver? Is that what you call positions?
Oh,
Yeah?
We're going
right
to be
up-
doing it in the
we're-
missionary
we're right-
fornication
we're right up-
maneuver.
We're right up against that line, guys. Pull it
I
back.
told you I'd
I know,
like to go it.
that's why I said what I said.
deploy.
You did really well. I'm proud of you.
And then he shouts, deploy, and all the fun begins. So that will be February 9th on HBO Max.
Paratroopers away.
Abort.
Oh, not in this state. Harley Quinn, a very problematic Valentine's Day special. Thursday, February 9th. So just a week or so ago from here. More trailers that we got this week. We got to look at, thanks for picking that, Shazam, Fury of the Gods.
Oh, look at that pic.
No. Wait. Time out. Wait a minute. Look at this fit. Look how corny he looks.
Well, yeah, that's why he's the
from,
big
like,
red
the-
cheese.
Yeah, this
What
is from
is-
like the 40s.
What is this kid's elbow resting
That's
on?
what I'm saying.
leg
Magic.
on.
Magic, that's it. I prefer magic. That's good.
It's got good
But we
hips.
got a
Strength
look
of
at
Solomon.
Thank you, with the letter S. We got to look at the sequel, and the kids are in it, and Shazam's in it, and the daughters of Atlas are in it, and yeah. So go and watch it. It's your first real trailer that shows the adult version of the siblings. The Shazam family, Mary Marvel, and all those people.
Adam Brody is back, baby.
No, they were in the end of the first movie.
Oh
I
yeah,
know, but now we get them more.
Yeah,
Right.
they all
Yeah.
they all
We know
yelled
what they look like.
Shazam fam in unison, and then they
Shafam.
So that will be in theaters March 17th, but go ahead and watch that trailer. It's out there. Also, another trailer dropped this week, and this movie looks a lot of fun. What could go wrong? It's the new Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves trailer.
Yes.
All right.
It was very funny and good use of Led Zeppelin because, of course, you're going to use Led Zeppelin in a Dungeons & Dragons movie, right?
Yeah,
Right,
anything medieval.
Yep.
Anything medieval.
Because Gollum and the evil one took her away, hey, away, hey.
Gosh.
So that's March 31st in theaters for that trailer.
Assuming
Hey.
they don't reschedule.
It could very easily become the best Dungeons and Dragons movie ever made.
Very
could
easily.
Because,
And-
unless you get that bald guy with the blue lipstick from the first Dungeons and Dragons movie way back in 19-something, then
1990 something. They had a
yeah,
weigh-ins in it.
I think you and I saw it together, Shannon. I think we wept openly and held each other
I
after.
that the
remember
one
the trailer for that
Was that the
movie.
one with Marlon Wayans?
yeah,
Isn't it?
yeah, they had a weigh-ins in it.
So that's out there. Go ahead and watch it. And this article says it remains to be seen whether the issues with Wizards of the Coast will affect the movie's turnout. But apparently, and maybe Tony or Lee can weigh in on this, apparently Wizards of the Coast has backed off on this plan that they
That's
had.
what I read. Yep.
They canceled their plans to redo the OGL, and they put everything under Creative Commons, which is what people wanted in the first place. So
They actually did a good thing.
I'm telling you, if people bully the bosses enough, we can get stuff
no,
done.
that's the thing.
I don't think it had anything to do with the bullying they were receiving. They looked at what happened to Paizo, the people that make the Pathfinder role-playing game, which is basically D&D. They sold 8 months of books in 2 weeks.
Oh,
Right.
And
Really?
So I think Wizards looked at that and said, "Oh,
people
our
are
golden toilet seats."
People are jumping ship, eh?
Here's
Oh.
the thing.
Yeah.
We still do have the power to vote with our dollars. And
Right.
as
And
long as we
Paizo-
continue to do that, we'll actually maybe get some of the things we want from
And
corporations. once in a
Paizo's
while.
game exists purely because of the OGL. The open game license was created when D&D 3.5 came out, and then Paizo created themselves and did the Pathfinder game based off of the 3.5 OGL. So that game is D&D.
Also, Lawyer Mike is in the chat room. Hi, Mike. This is. I think they saw the subscriptions
Yeah.
drop as well,
Yep.
and the change
Yeah.
was. This was
Yeah.
triage to help.
Oh
save.
yeah, their
They-
page was crashing because people were canceling so much.
Yeah, they actually read the writing on the wall and thought, maybe we should walk back a little bit on
They had
that.
to They had
So
to
if you
hide
s-
their unsubscribe button.
So get out and vote, kids, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked with Sonic the Hedgehog.
That's
he was
right.
so ugly that
You
we
fixed
bullied
his
him
teeth.
into
But-
making him good looking.
I love that we got to see the old one in the Rescue Rangers movie.
And that was worth it.
Underrated movie.
Underrated.
So funny.
Honestly, underrated movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Let's see. Oh, and here's this broke late last night. Actually, this story. Thank you. If you're a Tomb Raider fan, this is good news for you.
I used to like to
because-
watch her swim.
Well,
It's not that Tomb Raider.
who didn't in the 90s?
Amazon has, like they did with Lord of the Rings, they've bought Tomb Raider, essentially. So they have decided that they are going to make a movie, a TV series, and at least one video game.
Fantastic.
Okay.
So the idea is to build out a connected world of Tomb Raider with the video game, TV series, and film all interconnected in a fashion kind of like what Marvel is doing.
I'm not mad at
They
this.
want to do that with this. And the writer for the TV series
This
is
is what got me
Yeah.
excited.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge is going
Yeah.
to
Oh,
write.
no kidding.
Yeah.
Unintentionally creating a new generation of archaeology girls between
Yes.
this and Indiana Jones.
That's true.
She is paving the way for the new generation of
Good for her.
Egyptologists.
Yeah.
I was always upset that, like, in any Tomb Raider iteration we've had, like, on movies and stuff, they've never made pyramid boobies jokes.
You would think there's just
I wouldn't put it past
opportunities
Phoebe
and rights.
Waller-Bridge.
Yeah,
I was going to
exactly.
say, if anyone's going to do it,
it's
her.
going to be her. So
They're gonna put her in one of those 1960s cone bras.
yeah, that's what, it'll
What-
probably
what I-
be. Go ahead, Lee.
I just feel bad for all of these new archaeology babies that start going to archaeology and anthropology school and realize that there's absolutely no future for them in that field.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's dying out.
So the
Yeah.
way they could do the bra thing is have it be a flashback to Lara Croft's like grandma or something back in the day when she was young and doing archaeology stuff, and have her have one of those bras like Lee was talking about. Then there you go. Here's your pyramid bra jokes.
I
Right.
I also have another idea is that she discovers a tomb and she finds this old school like 15,000-year-old bra and it's just a pyramid and then she's like, that's dumb.
We got
And
all
then
kinds
she
of
closes
ideas.
Yeah.
Then
We
she
really
blows
do.
up the tomb. This is what this show is now. We're dedicated to this
Miss-
24 hours a day.
Hang on. Miss Brandt, get Phoebe Waller-Bridge on the phone. We have
We have ideas.
ideas that we want to share with
Miss
her.
Brandt came back?
Yeah, she's my secretary.
Oh, wow. I was amazed because she was really upset with you when she quit last time.
I know, right?
Yeah.
She's back. She couldn't get
I
enough
got-
of me. Anyway.
I gotta really just address this because I did have kind of the same question. How is archaeology dying out if stuff if
They,
we
they
just
found
die out?
everything, Jay.
Yeah,
I
everything's
know,
been
but,
found.
They
but
found it all.
Well, they
But,
haven't
like-
they haven't found everything. The world is
There's
just
like
getting better about making sure we don't just take shit from museums. Sorry.
There's
I'm
like
poor.
3 things left.
So, well, like about my third semester in anthropology, they were just like, oh, by the way, this is a scholastic field now. Until we
Yeah.
actually find another culture to explore. At the time, in the early 90s, the only other option you had as an anthropologist was to study emergent prison culture.
Whoa.
And I was just
Wow.
like, yeah, cool. I want to do that. But now there's some things going on where they're like, okay, cool. We can study sexuality trends. We can study gender trends, things that are changing in our society. But
Okay.
there's like 1,000 hungry anthropologists right now going, yeah, I'll study that. I'll study that. Sign me up. So
And Jim in the chat room, Jimmy John, says, I thought breaking news was going to be Rebecca Frost mentioning Florence Pugh releasing music this year.
God, she's gonna have such a good year.
I didn't know.
Good year.
wow,
What kind of music is it?
yeah, I don't
What'd
care
she
what
do?
it is,
It's
but
probably that music that Jay's into, like that
I hope it's-
stomp clap music.
Oh,
I
that,
don't
that,
like stomp clap.
that folk alternative that he. Yeah.
it's a little.
It's
Alternative
American
folk.
values.
Hey,
Folk pop? Folk pop?
For loco.
Well,
and the lyrics are just haze and hose.
yeah.
Barbecue sauce.
Haley,
And a banjo, get a banjo.
Haley Steinfeld had a song.
Did she?
She's had multiple. She's had many
Yeah,
songs.
she's done
Very,
music.
very popperific.
Well, she's my Hawkeye, so.
Yep.
Have you
speaking
not?
of
I'm
the,
sorry. Have you not seen Pitch Perfect 2?
No.
Oh my God!
I have. It's actually pretty
Sorry.
funny.
Okay.
You should check it
Fantastic.
out.
It's like
I'm-
got
I'm still
lasers
waiting
or
for-
mutants in it.
I'm still waiting for Puss in Boots. Anyway.
That's good too.
Speaking of Marvel, we read an interview with one of the writers of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, talking about Modoc.
Best guy ever.
Here's the writer. He describes Modoc as a cross between Kevin Kline in A Fish Called Wanda and Frank Grimes from The Simpsons, Homer's enemy.
Oh my
I
goodness.
love that combo.
That's my favorite combo.
I mean,
What's going
I-
on, Grimy?
I just had to read this. He says, I'll just say he was inspired by Kevin Kline in A Fish Called Wanda and Frank Grimes in an old Simpsons episode. This really put upon selfish, entitled, but then also deeply sad, insecure man who knows that he got a shit deal in life and is trying to make the best of it.
So is every time Ant-Man goes by, he goes, asshole!
God, I hope.
What are you
his
gonna do? Kill me?
His ego will crumble the second he's challenged, but then also, like Kevin Kline in A Fish Called Wanda, he's pretty good at killing people. He's a real loose cannon character, and I had a great amount of fun with him. That was almost day one in the room. We cracked Modoc as a character, and the movie just became so much fun.
Awesome.
Love
I
that for
can't
them.
wait for that.
I'm so sad for Modoc though. I mean, he was intended to be this big, terrifying creature, and they're giving him Worf Star Trek Insurrection treatment.
Womp,
That's
womp.
true.
Captain,
true.
I just happened to be in the neighborhood. I've got a pimple.
Because, I'm rewatching those, and that's fresh
Yeah.
in my mind now. That great
Yeah.
big old splorch on his nose.
It's a Zort. This is not a thing we joke about. Oh, I'm sad.
And Riker's line about, you Klingons never do anything subtle, do you?
Oh my gosh.
All right. Now the bad news. Sorry. But I will give you some good news in exchange for it.
Deal.
This one is a double bad news. Both Titans and Doom Patrol are done.
Yeah. Bleh.
We all knew
It's like-
that was coming, though, right?
It's like my friend said on Twitter. My friend tweeted at me when he saw this news. He said,
Yeah.
everything Tony loves will eventually come to an end. Thanks, Randall.
Now, before everyone jumps to a conclusion, this had nothing to do with James Gunn and Peter Safran. They said that the release statement is that we were planning on these shows ending. We could see the writing on the wall as everyone else could. And apparently they are still going to release the rest of these seasons that are they will be the last season.
This is the last season, is the one they're on.
Yeah, these will be the last season. And apparently the writers had cancellation in mind for both of them, and so they say they're going to end the storylines.
Is there another season
That's
of Titans coming?
No, just the one that's going on right now. Or
Oh, is it still on?
Yeah,
they're doing a mid-season break for some reason on
Okay.
both of these shows, which I don't understand why you do that.
Well, they had to find another lamppost to drop on
I don't
Donna
know.
Troy.
Maybe Titans was trying to find a good story.
I'll be honest, I've not been happy with either one of these shows this season.
I'm
Really.
loving Doom Patrol.
I'm still liking Doom Patrol, but I'm a couple
is-
episodes behind.
It is a bummer for this to happen during the Brendan Fraser assance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
But-
frees them up to do voiceover for something else.
But now
I'm with
here's
Carrie though. The Doom
Yeah.
Patrol hasn't hit as hard this last season.
here's something for you though. If you're a fan of the actress who plays Jane on Doom Patrol, I keep forgetting her name. Guerrero?
Oh, it's oh my god, what is it? Oh my god.
I forget, but she's great.
Her last name's Guerrera, I want to say.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Danielle? No.
is it Danielle Guerrera? And she's
Oh,
so
no.
good in the show,
She's
and
awesome.
she's just beautiful. She can sing too. Go and watch
Encanto.
Encanto at the Hollywood Bowl, which is them doing Encanto live at the Hollywood Bowl and filming it.
Diane Guerrero.
Diane Guerrero.
Diane.
And
I knew it was a D.
she is amazing. So go and watch that, and I hope to see her in a Marvel project soon. That's what I want.
That'd be great.
So all these shows are canceled up, just opens them up for Marvel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's see. So that's the bad news, but we do have some good news. We did hear that The Last of Us has been renewed. I mean, no surprise. Again, this
Yeah.
is no surprise. Last of Us renewed for season 2 on HBO. And as we have found out from where, Rebecca?
Oh, on the podcast?
Oh, that
The official The Last of Us podcast?
yeah, the official Last of Us. We heard on that they're going to do the first game in the first season here with the remaining episodes, and season 2 will be the beginning of the second game.
Oh, Tony, no.
Yeah, I got them sound effects.
So I was just trying to figure out why all this spaghetti's on the wall behind them. Why do they got all that spaghetti up there?
Well,
That's a mushroom bolognese.
a lot of people don't know that in
That's
the
angel
apocalypse.
hair, and I know it.
Yeah, in the apocalypse, only Italian people survive, and they just make lots and lots of pasta. Mm-hmm. the apocalypse.
Oh,
Tony, go to your room.
Nope, never.
Perfect. It's
Apocalypse.
perfect. It's it's perfect, Rebecca. You respect it. You give
Thank you,
that
Jay.
man his flowers. It's
Thank you.
perfect.
Want
No notes.
to.
it's getting huge reviews. Its premiere episode earlier this month was HBO's second most watched series debut in a decade, and has since climbed to 22 million viewers across all platforms. Last Sunday's second episode jumped 22% in the overnight ratings compared to the premiere.
So the second episode didn't drop; it gained.
Yeah, it gained.
Yeah.
That's
People
awesome.
people want to see what's
That's-
going on.
Well, it's word of mouth. Word of mouth is getting out about this show. They say that it will. Last of Us Part 2 will be the season 2 because, as Mason puts it, I don't like filler.
Yeah, so are they going to have a season 3? Because guess what? There's no game 3.
That's
obviously.
fine. Not everything needs to go
No,
on
I'm
for
just
a bajillion
saying.
seasons.
I'm just
No, wait.
curious.
I'm hearing from rumor control that apparently George R.R. Martin is writing season 3. So
We're
there
never
you
getting it.
Oh,
We're never
boy.
getting it.
That's
Game
never happened.
Game
Well,
over.
see you guys never.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just propped up at a buffet in Santa Fe, waiting for that next check to come in.
Yep.
Let's see. Also, more good news. We've got more people added to the Thunderbolts movie.
Yes, I'm all for this.
She is. You may recognize her from one of our other favorite shows, The Bear. Ayo Edebiri is her name, and she was a breakout actress in this The Bear show. And it does not say what she's playing in Thunderbolts, but there we go. She will be in it.
I don't care what it is. She'll be awesome at it.
Yeah, that's what I was just like, I'm not worried about. No notes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm just excited for Thunderbolts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've got good news for Lee George Cade. We're getting what he referred to as the Citizen Kane of angry Santa Claus movies.
Oh yeah.
It is.
We are getting a sequel. We're getting Violent Night 2.
I love it.
And here's what the director said about Violent Night 2. He says, "Yes, we're talking about it. We're making deals, and it is a go. Getting everything in order. We have time to really crack the script and figure out the story. We have some ideas. Me and Pat Casey and Josh Miller and the producers, we've been talking about where we want to take it. We want to see what we want to see. There's stuff we left on the floor, like the North Pole, Mrs. Claus,
Yep.
Well,
the
because
elves.
he gets back together, Mrs. Claus forgives him for whatever it is that she was mad at him about, and packed Skullcrusher back in the sleigh at the end of the movie.
Yep.
So, like, he's got his magic mythical hammer back, which also has the best delivery of a little girl yelling Skullcrusher in any movie ever made. And not only, I mean, we're in the middle of the David Harbour assance as well, because he's got a movie coming up called We Got a Ghost.
We got
Yeah.
to
On
go.
Which looks
Netflix,
funny.
where he plays an old man ghost that can't talk, and it's great. I love this guy. He's my hero. I want to hang out with David Harbour really bad,
You want to be him, don't you?
so bad.
Have you watched his Architectural Digest tour?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
It's so amazing.
He does that?
Yeah,
Heck
Yeah.
yeah. He's got
They
a
go-
really tasteful flat in Manhattan.
It's very
It's
interesting
beautiful.
the way.
I
Yeah.
think about his bathroom a lot.
His
His
bathroom
bathroom's
and
pretty
his
awesome.
and his stove.
Really?
His
And his
stove.
shower,
Really
yeah.
cool too.
And then, of course, his greatest thing ever, Frankenstein's
Yep,
Monsters,
take a drink,
Monster
take a drink, take a
Frankenstein.
I
That's
did.
not a game.
Sure it
I
is.
know, but you
It
sure talk
could
about it
be.
a lot.
Good news, I think, for Tony and Shannon, because they're the last people watching these CW superhero shows.
I think
I was going to
oh,
say,
wait.
are you going to bring up the other doomed superhero show?
Yeah, there's
no.
only one left that I watch.
Well, there's Superman and Lois, and they have announced, according to Deadline, that Lex Luthor is going to be in the third season, which will probably be the final season. But there you go.
Yeah.
It's just
probably.
I don't know for sure. I'm just guessing. But they have announced the casting of Lex Luthor in the third season. It will be played by, hit the picture, Michael Cudlitz.
Yep. Abraham.
That's
Abraham
right.
from Walking
Oh.
Dead.
Which, side note, this version of Abraham in The Walking Dead is so freaking accurate to the one in the comic book. Like, it's crazy. It's like they drew this guy in the comic book before they cast him in real life. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's
You're-
bonkers.
You're telling me a ginger's gonna be Lex Luthor?
That's right. We
Well,
are the
no, 'cause he's
evilest
gonna be
of
bald.
species.
So
If,
I went.
I hope they
went
give him
and
a
looked
beard,
at-
a bald
I
and a
did
red
like
beard.
an image search to try to find him not looking like Abraham,
Uh-huh.
and he's going to look good as Lex Luthor.
He
Yeah.
will.
He's gonna be good. Yeah.
Although the Lex Luthor that's on Titans, he was good too. But this
Yeah,
will
you
be
mean for
interesting to
one
see.
half an episode?
Yeah, I wish they would have kept him around because he
Season's
was.
God, that
not
pissed me
over.
off.
Season's not over.
That's true.
Nobody
that's
dies.
True. And Lex Luthor's usually smart enough to cover stuff like this. So
Exactly. Michael Cudlitz because Lex Luthor in the Superman and Lois show, which
Hey,
enjoy it while you can, you guys.
he's
Yeah,
no
I
Clancy
will.
Brown, but
Yeah. And then
point, too.
now I had good news for everyone. I get good news now, and
yeah, Carrie.
I think Rebecca gets some good news as well.
Oh.
We're getting another season of Aqua Teen Hunger Force. So
I'm with it. I'm with it.
I like this news just based on the fact that it's been 8 years, which means there's hope that I might get another season of Venture Brothers eventually.
they're talking about it. Yes.
Gimme.
And now it's only 5 episodes, but they're going to release the movie Aqua Teen Force Plantasm on HBO Max next month, And then this will be on Adult Swim in March, the new 5-episode series. I
This
want
level of animation takes almost a decade to make. You need to understand that.
it's so high quality. It really is.
It's the best high quality, guys. It's
Now,
pure.
I'm not telling you to watch Plantasm when it hits HBO Max, but if you do, and the Moonanites tell you to text them,
Do it.
do it.
Do it.
I dare you. All right. It's a great little gag in the movie. Now, they're bringing back Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I wonder what the reasoning is. I mean, I'm happy, but
Because we want it. That's why.
because I want it. I thought I was the only one asking for it, and I guess anyway.
The Cartoon Network gods at Adult Swim have heard your prayers, Carrie.
Miss Brandt, get Adult Swim on the phone.
Maybe
That
there's a
was one
void
of the
from Rick
things
and
she
Morty.
was. That was one of the things she was upset with you about. Was how you just barked at her like that all the time.
Well, she's my secretary. I have to.
Okay.
All
Part
right.
of the
She's also
job.
a person.
It is. Well, we'll get to that.
You know what? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen if she hears about this women's lib?
I don't know. I'm concerned.
She doesn't know she can vote.
Shut up, you guys. She's going to hear you.
She's going to get ideas.
She's going to start wearing exposed arm sleeve things, too.
Ain't showing her ankles. All of that
She'll be
stuff.
showing her arms and her ankles soon.
Get that out
I
of
hope
here.
you don't.
She's
I
gonna
hope you don't
leave
get
the kitchen.
exposed. I hope you don't get exposed to a shoulder, Carrie.
I'm not responsible. If I am, I'm not responsible for anything that happens.
Hopefully
anyway.
that shoulder's
Oh no,
not
my
cold.
boner!
Oh no, my boner!
I don't know. Miss Brandt's pretty hot. Anyway,
Oh no, my boner!
the Spider-Man cartoon version is the hot one. Anyway, the one from '66. I mean, anyway,
Miss Brandt.
Jay did speculate. This is maybe they're putting this in instead of Rick and Morty. That's a good, because the next story is about Justin Roiland.
Oh man.
Boy, he's had a bad week.
This
It's
is
decisions
execs.
he's made coming home to roost. It
Yeah.
This is
seems.
execs at everything he's involved in right now.
Yep.
Basically everything. It's like anything he's involved in, people are dropping. So
Yep.
far, Adult Swim has dropped him. They're keeping Rick and Morty because they're not stupid,
Yep.
and they're going to recast the voices. That's going to be interesting.
I hope it goes as well as when they did that with Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
You know, though, I mean, I had it pointed out to me that all you really have to do is go to any party and hang out with any random 25 to 40-year-old
Yeah.
white dude. He can do both voices.
They're not
Yeah.
gonna. Justin Roiland's voices he does are not hard to do. They're
No.
gonna find someone who's just fine.
There's
You-
a-
you probably
apparently
won't
there's
tell.
R.I.P. that casting director.
Apparently,
Yeah.
there's a guy on there's a guy on TikTok that does like a perfect thing, and everybody's like lobbying for this guy to
Oh, really?
do it.
Oh,
That
good.
casting director's email box is probably just overflowing right
Yeah.
Well,
now.
So once Adult Swim did that, then Hulu felt that it was okay.
Yep.
They have dropped association with Justin Roiland. They're keeping Solar Opposites and Koala Man. They're just, again, going to recast the voices. And the only statement that they put out is, we have ended our association with Justin Roiland. That's like across the board.
That's
Yep.
everybody.
Dang.
So I just kind of wonder why they didn't
Even-
do this 2 years ago when
Are
his
you
lawyer,
reaping
when
what
his
you sow?
when his legal team,
Yeah.
when his legal team had to reach out to all of his employers and let them know what he had been charged with.
I know what it was. They didn't know how the chips were going to fall, and
They didn't.
until
They
they
didn't.
saw the writing on the wall. They're like, "Oh, we can probably keep him around."
Oh, everybody's really focused on COVID right now. Let's keep him here.
Yep, exactly.
Well, it's like
Hey, that
And-
voice sounded pretty good. You could do that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could do it.
Whatever he
And-
did must have been
yeah.
pretty messed up.
Well, 2 felony domestic abuse charges. Anyway,
Practically
thing-
held a woman
it's-
hostage.
yeah, that's-
And
that's
like
the one.
imprisonment too.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one. The capital punishment or corporal punishment and stuff. That's a charge that the police do not throw around lightly.
Yeah.
Like they have to
Yeah.
have pretty clear evidence to charge a person with that one. And
also,
well, I guess they found it.
Justin Roiland is he announced his leaving of Squanch Games.
Yeah.
Just a month after High on Life became, I didn't know this, 2022's most popular Xbox Game Pass launch. Wow.
Yep. He says
yeah.
he resigned. I wonder how voluntary that resignation
Well,
was.
I see a future for him in alt-right comedy. In about 6 months, he's going to be one of their new darlings.
Oh my gosh.
Probably.
Gonna do with all these pop vinyls.
Yeah, they'll be like, let's see how I can Louis C.K. my way out of this.
Here's the
He'll be
Rogan
back.
interview
Don't
coming
worry, He'll
soon.
be back in a couple
Oh, yeah.
years.
It'll be here. Anyway, before we get to what you guys were consuming this week, here's my favorite story of the week. The right-wing outrage machine has moved on from gas stoves to Xbox consoles.
Check my Xbox off over my dead body.
What did I miss over the gas?
Okay.
I'm gonna play a PlayStation and smoke a cigarette because that's what Tucker Carlson tells me to do.
Yeah.
Get that Xbox out of my
So,
house.
so here was a statement from Xbox, from Microsoft. Here's what they said.
Okay.
They are now offering carbon-aware updates and game downloads in an effort to reduce emissions. Here's what they said.
My woke video games.
Yeah. Here's what they said. When your console is plugged in, connected to the internet, and regional carbon intensity data is available, Xbox will schedule game, app, and OS updates for your console at specific times during nightly maintenance window that may result in lower carbon emissions because a higher proportion of electricity is coming from lower carbon sources on the electric grid. So all this is an update. It's just an update to your box that will shut it off when you're not using it, and it updates in a special way. Well,
That's how my
no.
box works.
All,
Hey.
and now
How
all
often
of,
do you get updates to that box?
Only when I turn it on.
so it's just the software upgrade. Here's what Republican pundits had to say about this. Now the woke brigade is after video games, all in the name of climate change.
Take my Xbox.
Xbox will force gamers to power down to fight climate change, touting the first carbon-aware console. They're not forcing you to power down while you're playing. It's when you're not playing that this will happen.
And
You know what?
furthermore,
I want that to happen because my PS5 keeps yelling at me because I keep turning it off inappropriately. It's like, hey, you don't stop turning me off by just unplugging me, and I'm like, I'm sorry.
you monster, why would you do that?
Yeah, I know.
because I move it from upstairs to downstairs often.
Don't do that.
And I thought conservatives hated video games.
Yeah,
No, they
don't
do.
like them anyway.
But they want you to waste electricity. See, also, they're
Okay.
confused.
Guess
Alright.
guess
you
what?
know.
Here's the other thing about that. It's a setting you can disable. If you don't
Yeah.
want to do it, just go into
Yeah.
the settings and turn it off.
You can.
It's not hard.
Jimmy John's in the chat room. Funny that everything helpful and healthy is a left-wing agenda. Yeah, that's
No,
So
no.
what's the thing with gas? Because
Oh, with gas stoves. There was a study that said that gas stoves likely
they're
increases.
hugely wasteful. Yeah.
well, they're
not only
wasteful.
but they have health implications.
Oh,
And
yeah,
So,
okay.
So the left was like, hey, maybe we move away from gas stoves. And then
And
Tucker Carlson was like, you can take my gas stove and my guns out of my cold dead hands.
And they took my goddamn M&M.
And here's
I used to be so horny for them M&Ms.
It made
and
her
now-
take her boots off.
What am I
Then
supposed to do?
they made a
Here's-
purple one and I didn't
Am I
like
supposed to
it.
jerk off to my Rudolph now?
here's
Well,
here's
feminist M&M agenda.
Here are some other statements that they made. They're trying to recruit your kids into climate politics at an earlier age, make them climate conscious
I
now.
got a little bit of news for you. That's happening in schools, dummies.
First gas stoves, then your coffee, and now they want your Xbox.
Coffee.
And it's all faux outrage because there's nothing in the Democratic government that is trying to do any of these things.
I've got a gas stove right now, and
Yeah.
I want to get rid of it because I went to a B&B in Oregon in December, and they had an induction cooktop.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
those are cool.
That was amazing, and it was
Yeah.
efficient, and my food cooked better and sooner. And
Really?
If I was going to upgrade, I would get an induction for
We
sure,
just
but
don't
I also
want
have gas.
stuff to melt anymore.
How about that?
That's really all climate change is. We just don't want.
The kids just want a world to live in when they're
Yeah,
older.
like we just-
That's so much to
Well,
ask.
I've never had
older.
ice cream that melted too soon.
What have they
That's-
done
Oh,
to deserve it?
beans.
Well, and,
What
and
kind
Doc-
of world are we going to leave for Keith Richards?
exactly.
Because he's the only one that's going to be around.
He'll be around, yeah. Anyway, so that was. I wish I could laugh at that. I just wish I could. But there you go. Let's find out what everyone was consuming this week. Who wants to go first?
I've only got one.
Just one, Shannon? There you go.
Yeah, I am loving this. It's on the Peacock, and it's The Imposters.
Oh, what's
No,
this?
sorry, not The Imposters.
The
It's
Traitors?
The Traitors.
Yeah.
Alan. First of all,
Alan Cummings.
just a tour de force by Mr. Alan Cummings. He's the host, and God, he's good at this, you guys. What it is, it's a trashy reality show game,
You have me.
and it's half. It's so the contestants are half reality star people that I don't recognize because I don't watch any of those things, from like Big Brother and stuff, and then just like regular Americans, pretty
Normies.
Americans. And
Yeah, make sure you put attractive.
they're taken. Imagine if they're in a castle in Scotland.
Yeah.
3 people get chosen to be traitors, and if they stick around long enough through the murders, they get all the money. And it is great because Alan Cummings is just fantastic. He says, I'm like a less butch Agatha Christie in a fabulous outfit. Right? And he's just so overly dramatic. It reminds me like if Clue was made into a game.
Oh.
I mean, I guess it is a game, but
Clue
I'm
is
talking
game.
about,
Yeah.
I'm
so
talking
I was
about the
like,
movie. And it's also got tones of the Stanford prison experiment in it.
Ooh, wow.
really?
Okay.
Because they're all so into the game, they start to actually think it's kind of real, and it gets really, really dramatic. And it's just fun trash. But Alan Cummings,
I'm trying to remember
elevates it.
who he is. Is he did he play Nightcrawler in the X-Men?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And
And
there's a great TikTok of they show Alan Cummings. He sounds like Myra Rose from Schitt's Creek in the
awesome.
show. And so like my wife is obsessed with this show, so like I do need to check it out. Yeah, but Shannon, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, if you like him, you'll just love this. Because, boy, the outfits he comes down in, like Scottish, like drag queen, just
He's so fabulous. He is fabulous.
Shannon, do you remember the musical version of Reefer Madness he did with Kristen Bell? Like,
yes.
That's my
years ago.
husband's favorite movie.
So
we
good.
watch it on repeat all the time.
It's so good.
So yeah, check that show out. It's really fun, actually.
All right. Who's next? Lee.
All right. Continuing the book, Altered Carbon.
Yeah.
They based the TV series off Altered Carbon. They didn't touch on this in the show, which is weird because you'd think if you're taking a 300-page book and making a 10-hour show, you could maybe touch on this a little bit. But when somebody commits a crime, and they did touch on this part, when they commit a crime, sometimes they'll just put you on ice. They'll freeze your cortex.
Yeah.
And then your body's in cold storage, and your family has to pay rent on it to keep it alive. And if they miss a payment, they'll lease your body out to some rich guy.
No, I think they did touch on that just a
little bit. Yeah,
but they go
but-
into it more in the book.
Oh yeah. So
man.
it's like rich corporate douchebaggery at its fullest, where like this one guy's got his wife's on storage, she's in her 40s, and some corporate executive decides that that's the body she wants to wear whenever she's in San Francisco. So he loses the lease on his wife's body while she's in prison. Pretty harsh stuff. So Battlestar Galactica Season 4 got into
baby.
the final 5 Cylons, which I don't know how I forgot about them, but that was some interesting stuff.
So good.
Plus, my favorite sitar rendition of Bob Dylan's "All Along the Watchtower."
Yes.
and
So good.
and Angel Starbuck. That was kind of a blast to go back to.
Yeah.
Last of Us Season 1, Episode 2. We did do a deep dive on that, so deep dive fans prepare for that. And a show that got ripped to shreds by a lot of people who decided to tell everybody else not to watch things that look appealing to them. The Witcher Blood Origin.
I watched that this week too. It's on my list.
And you know what? It's not terrible.
No, I liked it.
I had a good time with the characters. I mean, it's largely unnecessary, but it was fun. And
Well,
it was cool, and the fight scenes were neat, and the makeup was cool, and the costume design was off the
Costume
charts
was good. Like
Yeah.
what I liked about it is you get a little bit of the backstory about the conjunction of spheres, and you see the origin of Witchers. Like
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty dang good. I gave it like
had
a
a
7.5 out of 10. I enjoyed
I
it.
spent the whole time trying to find what the so-called woke agenda on this was
Me
that people were
too.
trashing it about, and all I saw was burly elves fighting other burly elves and a really kick-ass dwarf lady with a hammer.
She was awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, guys, it's fun fantasy, but it's like we're talking about the Willow series on Disney Plus, which is also being destroyed
Underrated.
because of its so-called woke agenda. I'm like, where is that agenda? I'm trying to find it because
Well, they included girls
Is the
in it.
agenda is the agenda in the room with us right now?
could be, but all I'm saying, man,
from inside the
you guys, some of you folks are getting so wound up over these perceived agendas and slights against you that you're missing out on some pretty cool media.
Yes. All right.
That's me.
Who is next?
I'll go next.
All right.
Because I had Blood Origin as well. I really enjoyed it.
I had a good time with it.
Yep. I watched 2 movies based on recommendations of fellow panelists here. One was, hold on, I have to pull it up so I can get the title correct. Frankenstein Monsters Monster Frankenstein.
I didn't know you watched that.
I did. I watched it, and
Wasn't
what
Alfred
the-
Molina incredible?
what in the world is going on in that show? Like,
Everything that I wanted to have happen in a
just
show.
So it was bizarre. I did love the Orson Welles comparisons though, like at the steakhouse and stuff like that.
My favorite is when at one point they show the clip of his dad going, "And that's how I got into Juilliard," and then they cut, and he's like, "My dad never went to
He
Juilliard."
never went to Julia. No, it was the documentary, the person writing the historian, and then his son's like, "What do you mean he never went to Juilliard? That was like a core piece of his personality." Yeah, we can't find any records of him ever attending.
So good.
So that's a pretty funny. It's short, like 32 minutes or something like that. It's worth your time, I
And
think.
inexplicably, Alfred Molina just shows up.
Yeah, and does great. And then I also dedicated 2.5 hours to madness with Midsommar. Am I saying it right? Midsommar.
Midsummer. You can just say midsummer.
Okay. Wow. What in the world's what?
What in the wide world of sports is happening there?
Exactly.
One of my favorite live chats ever was, what are they doing with those old people? Oh no.
Oh no. So Tony sends us a message and he's like, "Wow, Florence Pugh's got a hot voice," and then immediately unsends it because of what happens in the first bit of the movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
well, within like 5 minutes, all of a sudden she's screaming and crying, and I'm like, oh, if they match this up with where they thought I was in the movie, I'm going to look like a freaking creep. But yeah,
I don't like the look of that hammer.
some of the shots in that movie are just really awesome. Some of the cinematography, I really enjoyed that. The story is just off the rails, just craziness. Worst use of a bear I've ever seen in a movie. It is the opposite of Chekhov's gun.
Whatever, they showed you the bear and then they used the bear.
Yeah, not like you thought they would, though. And then I learned a new torture method from old Viking history that I didn't know about. The what
Blood
eagle?
eagle.
Blood eagle.
Blood
yeah.
eagle.
But anyway, yeah, that was wild. 4.25 out of 5 on that one. Just
Wow.
Wow.
All righty.
just
4.25.
crazy. Yeah, I wanted to give it a 4.5, but it disturbed me too much, so I had to drop it a quarter of a point.
Okay.
Tony with
oh.
the graphing calculator review.
That's right.
Nice.
I use a TI-83 to rate my movies.
My goodness.
I can write
Texas
boobs on a
Instrument.
calculator.
80085. Turn it upside down. Yeah. All right, and the last thing is I started that new Ryan Johnson show on Peacock, Poker Face.
I need to watch that.
Yes. Yes.
We
I watched the
watched
first episode.
Yeah, and
How is it?
I liked it a lot.
That's my That's my
I hear it.
recommend.
So-
I hear it's like if somebody decided to update Columbo and make it really cool.
You could
If
say
Columbo,
that.
if Columbo had a superpower,
Yeah. So I'll just say that, and I'll leave.
Does she do
more,
the thing? Does she do the Columbo thing?
What's the Columbo?
One
One
more
more
thing.
thing.
Oh.
No,
Yeah.
she
Not
does it
really.
her own way. And she doesn't
Yeah.
say one more thing, but she does it her own way.
Yeah.
So
I'ma watch it.
the-
I'ma watch
So
it.
the very first Comic-Con where I previously was talking to these guys about how I moderated Kevin Sorbo's panel. Doesn't matter. But the very first Comic-Con, there was a guy cosplaying as Columbo, and I was like, oh my god, are you Columbo? And he's like, yeah, definitely. We were having a conversation, and then the conversation naturally ended. We started to go our separate ways, and then he turns around, oh, and one more thing, and I went, yeah.
I love that.
You've got to.
So I'll leave that for you guys to talk about because I've already talked about it a lot. But I thought it was good. Good start.
Yeah.
All right, well, then let's go to Jay.
Yeah, I was good. I'll pick up right where left off, where Tony left off. Poker Face, I am in. Like I watched the preview with my wife because we've just been kind of just not trying to catch up on news or the thing that's of the moment. So we're just like, all right, we'll get to it when we get to it. I'm starting to just kind of fall back and not try to be so urgent with it. But we're like, all right, what do we want to watch? And so we saw that and we are like, okay, I'm in. It looks. I love the old school look of it. I love the shots.
The
speaking of
credits.
that-
The
Yeah,
credits at the beginning,
yeah.
Yeah.
That
Well-
was the first thing I said. I was like, look at the credits. And I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm in. And then we're on we just finished the second episode. It's so well done. All the characters are interesting.
Okay.
And it's definitely an adventure show.
Question:
and mystery.
Is this just my brain, or did you guys notice it too? Not only were the credits old school, but I feel like the lighting and they put a
Everything.
filter on the camera to make it look like it
Everything.
was shot like in the 80s.
Yeah,
Everything.
it looks like an old detective show.
They
Yeah.
shoot it on a VHS camcorder.
Probably.
Not that
Not
bad.
like that.
but
it still comes out clean.
still high quality. Yeah.
Yeah, but it
looks
has the
old.
Plus, Natasha Lyonne's a badass. She's amazing.
Yeah.
I know what it is. This show has just a feel about it. Like you
Yep.
watch it, it's like a bass guitar. It's just like we
Cool.
got feel.
I'm
It's
excited.
just like everything about it feels good. Adrian Brody's in it. Little comedian Lil Rel's in it. Benjamin Bratt's in it. Dick Shorty from Orange Is the New Black, the
Yep.
Dominican one.
Oh, I like her. I like her.
I'm
yeah.
sorry, I forget her
Tasha?
name, but she bad.
She's beautiful.
And then when you go through the cast and you see who's in the trailers, you're like, oh yeah, you can't say no to this cast. It's such a good show.
Are all the episodes out?
They
the
released
first three,
four.
I think, or four.
They
yeah.
released four.
And it's
Okay.
on Peacock.
Peacock. Yeah.
100, and I
and
hate
it's Brian
to be the,
Johnson.
Yeah.
Produced.
And I hate to
wrote
be-
and
I hate to
directed
be
the
this
first
guy.
episode.
Yeah. He wrote some
Wrote
of it.
and directed the first episode.
100% on Rotten
Peacock,
Tomatoes right now.
Peacock's
Oh, yeah.
really got some good stuff on it.
Yeah,
It does.
sneaky. It's got some sneaky good stuff. And then I finally caught up and watched Bullet Train, which I
Yes.
absolutely
So good.
love.
Bullet
Maybe-
Train was great.
Maybe 10, 15 minutes too long, but still was really, really good.
You know, that split second scene where they show the brothers when they were little kids watching the football game, and I was just like, what a cool little shot just to show how deep their bond is, right?
Right.
Like,
Yep.
yeah, it was perfect.
It's everything about Bullet Train. I was like, finally,
Yep.
I needed that movie because it made me kind of fall in love with movies again. I was like, oh, I love that. And then
Yeah. Super fun movie.
I finally beat Far Cry 5.
How about that? And okay, now you got to go on to the sequel, the expansion sequel or whatever. I think it's called like New Dawn or something like that.
Yeah, you know what? It's just like, I don't know. I felt like I beat a Joe Rogan podcast. And like I was just like, what? So that was the final boss. I'm just in like, I don't know.
All right. Rebecca.
So I do want to give a little bit of a shout out. If you are on the Geek Show Discord, which you can get access to through the Patreon.
Yes, geekshowgotthiscovered.com to get to our Patreon.
We are doing a fun little thing called the Oscars Death Race, where a bunch of us are trying to watch all of the Oscar-nominated movies before the Oscars on March 12th. So if you want to participate, join our Discord through the Patreon. And Colt has gone ahead and made an awesome little spreadsheet. And spreadsheet city, so you can keep track of everything you watched. Yes, Tony, you have a question.
Does that include like shows that, or is it just the Best Picture nominations, or are we talking about?
It's everything.
Whoa.
Yeah. So if you want to participate in that, there's no prizes except a fun time. So that's what we're doing. And as part of that, I watched Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio on Netflix.
Amazing.
That movie is metal as heck, I tell you what. That movie metal as heck. That was pretty cool. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. And then I watched a movie that's also on Peacock called Sick. It is a modern slasher movie written by Kevin Williamson, who wrote the Scream movies. I Know What You Did Last Summer. The premise of the movie is really just, hey, do you remember 2020? That was crazy, right? And essentially, this group of kids go to a cabin to quarantine during April 2020. And
I saw ads for this.
And there's slasher in the house.
I saw the trailer for this.
There's a part where the one lady's trying to get away and wants to get in the car with this other lady, and she's like, "Do you have a mask?"
Yeah.
So the whole gimmick of the movie is 2020 was crazy, right? It was. The movie itself, it felt like a Kroger brand slasher movie. I gave it 2 stars out of 5, and those 2 stars were for the kills only.
Oh wow! So not great.
Not great. I did.
All right.
I have this weird superpower of, as I was watching the movie, I was like, "That's some Utah ass scenery if I've ever seen it." And sure enough, filmed in Weber County.
Nice.
So
Nailed it.
Yep.
nailed it. Yep, and that's what I watched.
All right. Before we get to what I watched, just a quick reminder that February 11th, we will be recording this show live at Broovies for Saturday Matinee. Woo. And our Saturday Matinee this February 11th is Scott Pilgrim.
Oh.
Yes.
Nice.
Scott
For
Pilgrim.
Valentine's Day.
One of them video game movies.
We can watch the beginning of the ascendancy of Aubrey Plaza.
Oh yeah,
That's right.
goodness.
February. So that's February 11th. We the doors will open 11:30. We'll start the recording of Geekshow at noon, and start the movie at around 1. And it is pay what you want. That is how we do it. All right. That's at Broovies in Salt Lake City. All right. I watched quite a bit of stuff this week. The Shrink Next Door.
I want to see that.
It's an episode and a half too long.
Okay.
I'll say that.
Oh, you watched the
Okay.
whole season.
Watch the whole series, and it's Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd back together again, and it's based on a true story, which really kind of made me angry for a lot of it, because I knew that this was happening to this poor person, and I just wanted to yell how did you let this happen? And it has to do with psychosis, and this psychiatrist basically takes this guy for everything. Over a period of 27 years, this guy put up with it for that long. It's hard to watch sometimes, but they're both good in it. So there's that. Also, Poker Face, which we loved. I started the 1619 project, which you should watch because DeSantis doesn't want you to. And I'm learning, again, we all limited in what we know about this country. We're only taught just the basics, and there's so much that happened that you don't know about.
You're only taught the whitewashed version of history.
Exactly. But this is very good. Also, a very delightful little, I'll call it a rom-com, You People on Netflix.
Oh,
Did
yeah,
you
the
like
Eddie
it?
Murphy joint.
I've read like iffy reviews of it. I want to see it.
Ignore those reviews.
Yeah.
Ignore those reviews, because everybody in this show is hilarious.
Yeah.
Nia Long being fine as hell.
Looking
Nia
good.
Long? Oh, wait, no,
Nia
Nia
Long.
Vardalos.
And it's got what? Julia
Louis-Dreyfus and David Duchovny as a married couple.
As Jonah Hill's parents,
As
right?
Jonah Hill's parents.
Okay.
There's Lauren London in there too, right?
Yeah, it's great to see chubby Jonah Hill being funny again. That's great. And Eddie Murphy is hilarious.
Yeah.
As this this badass Muslim father who it's just not having it. It's a delightful little and it's a rom-com. Don't forget. I think people are going into it with the wrong idea, and that's why they don't like it. It's a rom-com.
I saw the trailer and I thought it looked really funny.
It's got a lot of great dialogue, some very funny back and forth with funny people. And anytime you've got that, if you've got a well-written script and funny people, I'm there.
Yeah.
And it was very enjoyable. So that's You People on Netflix. That's what I've got. Games? Do we have any?
Oh yeah.
Other
I
than
bet we do.
other than play The Last of Us
Tony,
again.
I will.
Tony, what
I
do
will
you
say.
mean you're not prepared?
I will say, Tony.
I'm listening. Yes.
Star Citizen is 60% of the way to being a game.
Baloney.
No,
60%.
they pulled off persistent entity streaming, which I do not believe any game has actually pulled off yet. Like you leave a can of soda on the surface of a moon and come back in a week, it's still there.
Oh, nice.
Which also
Well-
means that things are getting really bad because there's a lot of smashed up spaceships all over the place.
Yeah, things are going to get garbagey.
But
All
they
right.
put salvaging in so I can steal the metal off those smash
Go back and
ups.
get that can.
Yeah.
Coming out this week, we have a new SpongeBob game, SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake,
Oh,
and that's coming out on everything. If you own a system that's less than 8 years old, you'll be able to play it. Let's see. Also coming out this week, Deliver Us Mars, the sequel to Deliver Us the Moon. If you like, let's see what else. Prison Tycoon under new management.
Prison Tycoon? Is
Oh,
that
no,
like
that's
Roller Coaster Tycoon?
No,
Yeah, it is.
no,
It is.
Oh,
no,
no.
But it's
no.
it's training up our next generation of free market
Right.
prison
In
owners.
Denver.
Is this
Service.
a real or are you being silly?
No, this is a real thing. But
That's
I'm wrong.
terrible.
It's the week
So they-
after.
That
Are
is
they about,
terrible.
like, how to operate your own for-profit prison system?
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
sickening. That's
that makes
sickening.
me sick, honestly.
Yeah.
That's next week, though. I got a little ahead of myself.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. This week, though, we got something called We Were Here Forever.
Lee was here forever.
We were here forever. What? What?
That's the name of it.
What
And
is?
then-
What is it? Is this game about manifest destiny? What is this about?
Hey, we've been here forever.
Yeah, you guys.
I
That
think it was
sounds
about,
like a new pop band name. Like
I think it's
they'll be at the
the
Warped Tour or something.
I think it's a sim about the people waiting in line for episode 1 to open and then finding out that it was episode 1.
Probably that, yeah. And then the last one that is worth mentioning based on the name alone is a game called Rhythm Sprout: Sick Beats and Bad Sweets.
Rhythm Sprout.
Yeah, Rhythm Sprout.
Also,
interesting name.
Also,
there.
kind of bizarre. A for-profit prison video game.
I'm not sure if it's supposed to be for profit, but it's definitely running.
Oh, it is.
Running a prison,
Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm
just
sure it's
like
for
Roller
profit.
Coaster Tycoon.
Yep.
Sorry, you want to call home? That'll be $49.95 a minute.
We're gonna have to let's decrease the rapes.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it, isn't it? Mr. B, if you would, please.
Well, guys, it turns out the ham's a real piece of shit. We're gonna have to recast.
Oh no.
No.
Well, you know,
No one wants to have anything to do with the ham.
Well,
huh?
we're breaking ties with the ham. The ham will be recast.
I
The
think
ham's
that's a good
reaping
i-
what it sowed.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
probably.
Let me tell you how the commies plant propaganda back home.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, folks.
Like,
Yeah, thanks,
and
guys.
subscribe.
Hey, to everybody watching,
Smash
thank you for
that
joining us.
subscribe.
We really appreciate you.
Smash that subscribe button.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
And
Bye-bye.
yes. Bye, you guys. We'll see you. Bye bye.
That was a message of